Hello, everyone, and welcome to a speed draw of me making my Meat Circus game jam entry, the Meat Cult Steak Dungeon. We're doing it this way because, unfortunately, I have made a little bit of a mistake when it comes to my VODs on Twitch, and I don't have my audio track on them. So instead of just putting up a long 6-hour VOD where you hear literally nothing because all you could hear was my copyrighted music, instead, how about we do something like this? Especially because it was a stream of me mostly just drawing. So as you can see here, I'm doing a dungeon in the shape of a meat steak. In particular, a steak that's more cartoony in nature. As I've been drawing this, I am figuring out like what each room is going to be, the height it's going to be in. You can see there I have a little pond that I've decided to make there, and that this is like the upper level. So where the bone is and this other room next to this little pond are going to be on the same level, and then there's a little pond there where I'm you could see me sketching in a little bit of like a trapeze setup, because I'm gonna have a little trapeze setup there for you to go across. Then I decided, what about a maze? What if I do a maze here? Because I wanted each room to have a little bit of a puzzle. I went into this without any plans. You could see the little timer down in the bottom right where it tells you how many hours I have left until the submission is due. This was a game jam that was going through the entirety of October. However, I've been busy in October and I really didn't have time to do anything, but I wanted to get something submitted before it ended. So I had today free, or at least the day I did this, and so here you see I decided, what if I made this 3D? Could I make this 3D? Because that would just make it a little bit more visually interesting. I've talked before about how mazes are one of my favorite things to do. When I was younger, I used to do them all the time. And here you see me trying to make it 3D, which I've never tried before. And I zoomed out. I've been zooming out and in and out and in to see if I like it. And I put another medium tone at the top to try and continue the illusion of the 3D illusion. So this is all still a sketch, which I probably should have just kept that in, but here I'm doing something that I does not stay in. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and so I was like, okay, what if I just do like a box in the middle, a chest? And I had this idea of doing like funhouse mirrors in the maze, and I just didn't know how I was gonna do it. I was like, I guess I would just write it in, but then I was like, but what if I did it down here? What if I put the mirrors down here, surrounding this chest? Why? And I'm like, well, what if it's like a jack-in-the-box? You see the little handle there on the side, and this and when it goes off, something comes out. And so I have this idea here, and I have a whole and I'm talking about now. I had the idea of, what if we also did like a little clown car sort of situation where the clowns come out of the chest. And I'm talking about like the grotesque ways that I can make them show up because of the funhouse mirrors. The funhouse mirrors affect their shape, and they come out in a bunch of grotesque, like distorted images and stuff like that. And if you have any more questions, I explain it all in the doc in the actual itch.io where I have this all out. You see now I'm trying to do a bunch of different flowers. I wanted to do like sort of like folded flowers to make them look more like bulgogi or some like folded meat, like very thin meat that like curls in on itself. And I'm trying out different colors, and it's a nightmare. It's gonna go on for a while. It's gonna speed up here, in fact, because I was at this for so long. I mean, you can see the clock. I tried a bunch of different things, and finally with this flower, I think I finally like got something. It kind of reminds me of like a corpse flower. You see, I'm happy. And now I'm trying out different colors. But I wanted it to emulate the you know how clowns have like the squirting flower? I wanted that feel. I also played around with what it would look like, you know, if it were meaty, that like red sort of tone. And I end up keeping this green more or less as we continue on. But you can see here, I keep going, and I keep trying different flowers, different colors, different shapes, because I have the idea that I want a bunch of different flowers on this wall as part of the puzzle that it's going to exist in this room. I've now decided this is a puzzle room, so now I'm making these little inset shelves where a little plate is going to sit there, and in that little plate you're going to want to put a clown nose in it. But yeah, so here we have some inset footprints of clown shoes, and that's another part of the puzzle. So you're going to want to, as you can see there, there's a whole bunch of arrow stuff going on. I think we had a raid somewhere around here. But yeah, so you're going to have to do a bunch of puzzles there, and it's going to be a bunch of fun. So up here, I was like, well, I should probably do a puzzle in the maze also, since it's a pretty like straightforward maze. I was considering having like enemies here, but I was like, no. You also see me blocking off the sides because as you go into a room, the door behind you closes, and so on and so forth. You see here, I put a bunch of dots in, and those are pressure plates, and you're gonna have to stand on them to open the door. Here we're starting on the pit and the exit door there, and also this idea that I had that there's a big old enemy in there. Also cultist, and what I would call a bucket of stuff, also some glyphs around it. You'll see that later when I do the whole thing. This has all been sketching, by the way. I'm now putting things in folders and organizing things in order to be able to best start doing the inking on this whole thing. And as you can see here, I've created this this background of gray and then this really bright red, and now I've created the rough draft is now that a light blue. The reason the background isn't going to be gray, the reason I do this is this high contrast is so it is a little bit jarring on the eyes, and it motivates me to want to finish this faster. You could also see I have some lines coming out of the pit, and I want them to be meat juices coming out of there, and that is basically they go through a lot of transformations in how long they are, where they go, and stuff like that. But ultimately, that's where we end up. But yeah, so the background won't be gray, but it's gray for now. And yeah, so the whole puzzle and dungeon and all the facts are going to be in the document going forward, where you're going to be able to see what all the puzzles are, and if you're a GM, you know, feel free to use it. So here I am. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do these walls, because it's something about it isn't just like clicking. And it's really ironic that I spent so much time on these, because I end up not using this line art at the end of the day. But we're sub an hour now, and I'm really starting to feel the pressure, as you can see, because I'm fussing around with one little line for 2 minutes. But I feel pretty confident at this point that I can get this done. So here I have the little trapeze thing. I'm trying to figure out where all my walls and lines go, and I figured out that one of these little rivulets is actually, I thought, was the top of this wall, and it's not. So I erased that rivulet, and that's the first of the many changes I make with those rivulets coming from the pit. Now here I am, you know, now cleaning up the line art of these of this maze. I actually shouldn't have done this. This is probably the one part of this entire thing that I probably could have just cleaned up instead of like redone. This took me way longer than it probably should have. I had to rush the rest of it in order to finish this in time. I mean, you'll be able to see the time, but there you can see some of the pressure plates that are just dots on the ground. I called them obsidian, green, and yellow plates. And the point is going to be that your party is going to have to stand on them all at the same time to unlock the door. Taking a little bit of inspiration from Destiny 2 in the I think it's a Taken King, I think is the name of the raid. But there you can see now that I'm I'm now considering, ooh, I should probably like color this in. I have 20 minutes. I spent 20 minutes on this maze. So now I gotta rush. So now I'm painting in the rest of the meat. And I went with white for the lower tiers and then black for the higher tiers because you're burning that part. And also just because I thought it would be interesting. And there's the pit I'm doing. The pit looked unfortunate there for a second and I fixed it. 13 minutes now, we're rushing. I'm trying to get this submitted in time. So long as I submit something, I'm happy, 10 minutes left, and now I'm just retracing over what I had already. I didn't really have a plan as to what I wanted this to look like anyway, so, it's no skin off of my back that it kind of looks like this. I am unhappy with the values, but I don't have time. So I come over here and I just trace over exactly what I had. Except this time adding some supports. There you see some of the dorsal fins coming out from the sea serpent, which I end up calling a baby meat sea serpent in there. There you see I try to mess around with the values, but I have 2 minutes left. And here in a sec, and then I put in the background, just a neutral color, and then boom, done. Here I am last minute just submitting it, and now this is after the fact. We've come back, I've written the entire dungeon at this point, and now I want to just clean up this map so I can put out version 2 and it looks nice. There's the sneaky peeky at the PDF. I'm trying to organize things so the puzzle kind of makes sense. It's all perspective based, so like if you stand on the correct imprint, then you will see the correct flower. If you're standing in around correct flower, you go somewhere else. But you see me here just adding a little bit of green around everything because I want this area to look a little bit more sickly since it is the green room. Everything is in fact green in that room, just like everything is purple in the maze room, everything is yellow in the trapeze room. I'm trying to just clean up. I struggle a little bit with that with that brush, and yeah, so I'm just cleaning up things here. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with the Meat Circus Jam. I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to reading everybody's entries. I hope you guys enjoyed this meat steak that I've been working on. Here you see me finalizing it. And here in a second, you'll see the final picture. And oh, I need to work on the compass first because I referred to north, south, east, west in the written portion of this, so I had to make a compass. Otherwise, that would make no sense. Otherwise, which way is north? And so I work on this. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. Sorry the whole VOD couldn't go up, but man, the Asher's Ridge VOD I've learned that also has the same issue, so I'm gonna have to ADR that, and that's gonna be a nightmare. But here's a meat cold steak dungeon by PB Plays inside for the Meat Circus Jam that ran all through October 2025. I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, evening, nights. Don't forget to be nice to each other. Don't forget to be compassionate, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye.